Welcome to Stop Wasting Your Wine, a wine review podcast where we waste our wine so you don't have to. On this episode, we review
a white wine from California.
Welcome to the show. My name is Colin. Tonight, I'm joined by two of my very bestest friends, Joel and Aaron. Boys, welcome to the show.
How's it going, Colin?
Hey,
Excited.
Colin. Happy to
First
be here.
episode. Yeah, you guys ready to go? Pumped?
Oh my God, I'm so ready.
I am as ready as someone who does not know anything about wine can be about being part of a wine podcast. Let's go.
So, because this is the first episode, and we're not going to do this every episode, but because you guys, the listeners, don't know us yet, what we wanted to do is just introduce ourselves and give us a little background about our wine journey and a little bit about what the show is going to be about. So, Joel, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, everybody. My name is Joel. Happy to be here. And honestly, my wine journey kind of started because I just thought that wine was so interesting. There's so many different types out there, so many different varietals and so many different flavors and kind of things to try. I think that's part of what makes wine so daunting, but also part of what makes it so interesting. So really just kind of in the last 5-ish years, been really diving in and trying to learn about wine and get into it. So excited to do it with you fine folks.
Absolutely. Aaron.
Hey, I am Aaron. I am up in the New York City area. I've been up here for the past 15 years since I graduated from University of Central Florida with Colin and Joel.
What?
Weird. See how I slid that
We
in there?
know
So there's
each
like
other?
a connection.
Oh,
Yeah. So,
very
you know, I
sly.
have been in the north, far outside the free state of Florida. And what I found up here is, for the longest amount of time, I was like beer and then like maybe bourbon, but I wanted to drink something that was just a little bit nicer and go with meals. Like you go out to a restaurant and order a bottle for the table. And like if there's a spectrum of like knowing things about wine, I am on the dummy side of that spectrum. So I am like very excited about the prospect of just getting like a foothold in, the knowing a little bit about wine, so that when I want to order a bottle, when I want to order a glass of wine, I just know just enough to be like passably intelligent when it comes to talking about wine. I'm not asking to be a master of wine. I'm hoping to leave this podcast just being able to fool people is what I'm really gunning for.
And that's honestly a great goal because that's really
To be
I
able to
think,
fool people.
to be able to fool people. That is
Yes.
that's the level of wine knowledge you really need to start enjoying wine, right? So I think if you can get there, you could really enjoy it a lot more. And with that said, my name is Colin, resident wine nerd / enthusiast,
Expert.
and I guess I wouldn't call myself, the most expert, but far from an actual expert.
On this panel, yes, I would say so, Colin. Yes, you're
Okay.
a resident expert.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I do have what would be the equivalent of a high school degree in wine education.
Which would
Which
give
is
me
the-
a preschool participation trophy level of wine education.
Well, you got to start somewhere. I mean, that's good.
It
That's
might
good.
be, I've been like fifth grade, something like that.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Listen, we have a really excellent panel in that sense.
I agree.
It is a good. I think we're gonna be able to learn some stuff here. But I got during the pandemic, I got bored, and I was really into wine already after a trip to Napa. I just fell in love with it. If you haven't been to Napa, go. But I got a level 2 certificate from the Wine and Spirit Education Trust, which is just a wine and spirits education
Trust?
board trust. Basically, it's like a trust kind of, and they do classes and stuff like that. So I passed level 2, which is not. There are 4 levels, and then there's the Master of Wine. So I'm very far from that, but
No,
level
you're
2
halfway
solid
there.
start.
You're halfway there.
You're halfway there. I want to see you get all the way throughout the journey of this show and our time together.
To Master of Wine, I mean, I might do level 3, but Master
Maybe
of
we'll
Wine.
start with
Colin,
basic.
we want you to be a master of wine over the course of this podcast. Agree?
You basically have to yes,
Agree?
but you have to yes. Okay, moving on. Yes, no, you're right. I'm going to be a master of wine. Aaron.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's do it. Let's go. All right, so because this is the first episode, beyond introducing ourselves, I thought it would be good to just give everybody a little bit of what the show's going to be about. So to give a little bit more, Aaron's going to run down just what we got going on.
Sure. I am excited to explain the show because it's the only thing I know. So basically, if we haven't really hit you over the head with it yet, the three of us enjoy wine. Colin obviously knows more than Joel and I, but this is really just about trying different wines, determining like what is something that is tasty, enjoyable, something that you can have in your home, and stuff to avoid. We're not trying to do like a long lecture and make anyone an expert. What we're trying to do is just help folks make decisions about the kind of wine that they can have in their house. I know I need that very much. So each episode, we will introduce a wine. We'll talk about the kind of wine it is, what our takes are on it, and then kind of recommend whether this is a wine to keep in your house or a wine to avoid. And on top of that, we're going to kind of set a goal to give you one solid piece of information each episode for you to store away to kind of help you have those conversations about wine moving forward.
Aaron, I feel like if at the end of each podcast, we're a little bit closer to being able to walk into a restaurant or a nice wine shop and know a little bit about what we like and how to get started, I feel like that's a win.
Yeah, like we're not expecting anyone to be an expert from this, and we don't want to be a podcast where people are trying to listen to become wine experts. We just want people to feel comfortable around wine. I think that's all I want. I just want to feel comfortable around wine rather than being horrifically intimidated like I am all the time right now.
And I think the important part is building a vocabulary. So when you are in a situation where you're ordering a bottle, whether it's at a wine shop or you're talking to a sommelier at a restaurant, you want to be able to describe to them what you like so they can recommend good wine, because they are the true experts. But having a base knowledge of terms that you can use to describe what you like is really helpful when it comes to drinking better wine.
Who are the experts?
Like just in general?
Well, we're building vocabulary. What's a sommelier?
Oh, well, the technical definition is anybody who serves wine. So if you work at a restaurant and serve wine, technically a sommelier.
I served myself wine today.
You are a sommelier.
Look at that.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Thank you to the Don't Waste Your Wine podcast. I am already a sommelier.
And we just lost any sommelier who was actually listening to this and is
If there's
angry
a
at us for
sommelier
all
listening
of the
to this
training
episode,
that
they
have
got
had to do.
lost on the way here.
You're in the wrong
Yeah,
place,
yeah.
sommelier.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Get
right.
out.
No, but I will
This
say
isn't for
sommeliers do spend a lot of time and effort learning about wine. So I'm not taking away anything that they do.
Well, let's take some time to learn little bit about the wine that we're going to be drinking today.
Yeah.
How about
Joel,
that?
what are we drinking? Absolutely.
So like we said up front, today we are drinking a white wine from California. To be more specific, today we are drinking the Muirwood Chardonnay from 2021. So this is actually from the Arroyo Seco appellation of Monterey, California, and we picked this up from Total Wine for about $15.
Absolutely. Now let's learn something.
This is the only thing you will learn.
What is this? Who is this? Was that you?
Who the hell was that?
No, that is what the industry podcast folks call a drop. Basically just introduced a segment there for the little bit behind the scenes stuff. And that was a British guy I hired to do some voiceover work.
A drop.
Delightful.
Let me write that down. Let me take a note here.
All right,
Drop.
so this is dropping us into the only thing you'll learn during this podcast.
The only thing you will learn during this podcast. What I wanted to talk about today was Chardonnay. And before I get into what I want to talk about, I wanted to ask you guys, when you hear Chardonnay, or if somebody were to give you a glass of Chardonnay, what comes to mind? Do you have any preconceived notions of what Chardonnay might be?
Adult juice box. Like, when I think of Chardonnay, I think of like a fruity, juicy, just like treat of a drink aimed at adults with alcohol.
That's actually, I think of a just like over the top, buttery kind of, almost, I hate to say it, but almost sometimes syrupy kind of drink.
Honestly, when I talk to like folks who do like white wines, like Chardonnay is often the white wine they avoid.
Yeah, and Chardonnay, it's a bad rap. It really gets pigeonholed into, the overly oaked, overly buttery, kind of in your face, and which I don't like either. But it's really, it can be a lot of different things. And there are really many differences between Chardonnay. It can be style, it can be where it's grown. And what I really want to talk about today is where it's grown, because that has a huge impact on specifically the flavor profile of the wine. And when I talk about flavor profile, I'm talking about what flavors you get, whether it's fruit or floral flavors when you drink the wine. So I think the most important distinction is climate. And there are two major climates that wine is grown. You have cool climate and warm climate. When it comes to cool climate Chardonnay, you're going to have wines from Burgundy, and this wine from Monterey is a good example of a cool climate Chardonnay. When it comes to warm climate Chardonnay, you're going to have wines from Napa, some places in South Africa and Australia. And the major difference is going to be, like I mentioned, flavor profile. So in the cooler climate wines, you're going to have more of the bright citrus flavors, maybe a little bit of lemon, a little bit of lime. You might have a little bit of like a minerality characteristic, maybe some wet stones or something like that, and maybe a little floral. And then with your warm climate Chardonnays, you're going to get more tropical fruit. You might get a little bit more stone fruit like peaches. So you can really put a cool climate Chardonnay and a warm climate Chardonnay on the same table and not know that both grapes are Chardonnay.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So I think my my mind is blown a bit in this sense, because I think a lot of folks, when they think about types of wine, usually think of it along the lines of like, a Merlot, a Chardonnay, a Sauvignon Blanc. Like, it's going to be generally the same flavor, depending on like the brand and quality. It might taste a little bit different, but like a Merlot is a Merlot, a Sauvignon Blanc, Sauvignon Blanc. And what I'm hearing you say is that specifically, especially when it comes to Chardonnay, if it is a cool climate Chardonnay, it might have a completely different flavor profile than a warm climate Chardonnay. And so someone might actually enjoy a cool climate Chardonnay and be able to find other Chardonnays from that similar region that they also enjoy, but might really dislike a warm climate Chardonnay.
Absolutely. No, you're 100% correct. And I think it's a really cool way to explore wine is go to, your local wine shop and pick up a warm climate Chardonnay. And all you have to ask for is a warm climate Chardonnay. And the person there is going to understand what you're talking about, and a cool climate Chardonnay, and then go home and compare them, see what you like, because they're going to be totally different. And it's going to be a really cool experience just getting to know each of the climates and what that wine is all about. And then once you like one of the climates, you put that into your vocabulary, like we were talking about earlier, so you can, repeat that as you're drinking wine in the future.
I just took away too that you can walk into a store and say, I would like a warm climate Chardonnay, please. Already you sound like you know what you're talking about in a wine store. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's that easy too. Like that's really as high level as you need for wine knowledge, and as you build that vocabulary, you can order wine more to your liking. And that's, I think, part of enjoying wine.
So like a really good step for someone, like if you find a wine that you like, and Colin, like, correct me, is this just a Chardonnay thing, or is this a wine thing in general? Like if you find a Chardonnay that you like, and you Google like where that wine is from or the region it's from, finding other vineyards in that same region will probably produce something similar that you enjoy.
Yeah, it's definitely a wine thing in general. Climate definitely affects all grapes, but the biggest, I think, from what I've seen, the biggest difference in cool and warm climate is Chardonnay. It can be so completely different.
Well, what I'm hearing is the more wine you try, the more knowledgeable you are. So can we get into this wine?
Absolutely. Hey, you guys like the last drop? I got another one.
tastes like wine.
Okay, now who was that?
That was Helium Man. I don't really.
It's just the
just a
British guy
and
locked in a room with a bunch of wine for a significant amount of time. No, I'm just relieved by the fact that someone else drinks their wine and goes right after they drank it. I thought that was just me.
That is true.
Yeah, it's
I feel
refreshing. Okay. So when you're drinking a wine, it's important to first smell the wine. Yeah, there. To get an idea of what you're getting into before we drink it. So let's take a sniff, and guys, tell me what you smell. Joel, what are you picking up?
Well, it's funny. Not a whole lot. I wouldn't say it's the most aromatic wine I've ever put my nose in here. But what I am getting is some really lovely, a little bit of peach going on in there.
Yep. Agreed.
Man, that's pretty much the most that I'm getting.
Yeah, you really have to kind of get the nose in there. Really get it in there. Aaron, what do you?
I got a
smelling?
pretty solid nose, size wise, and like, I
wasn't gonna say anything, but since you brought it up,
look, it's pretty much in the wine, and I don't smell that much. I'm a Joe on this one. Like, there's a little bit, I guess, but I mean, it's either the wine or the long COVID. Like, I just don't have. There's definitely other wines that we have tried that have been like, wow, this is really something. And this is not I wouldn't have guests over and be like, stick your nose in that. Like, really tell me what you think. It's just not the main feature of this wine.
No, you're right. I mean, it's not terribly expressive, but I get a little bit of peach, like Joel said, some pears. I definitely get some lemon. I think there's also like a nice bready quality that I get in here. And this wine's been open for a while, and I'm starting to get a little bit more vanilla on the nose. And it says on the bottle, this was aged in oak, and not new oak, but I think that might be where this is coming from. So, all right. Well, that's a great start. Let's give it a shot, see what we pick up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's actually pretty nice.
That's really
Joel,
nice.
what are you getting?
Well, what's funny? Smelling it, again, a lot of peach, but first thing I'm picking up on as I'm tasting it is really a more citrus notes. I'm getting a lot of lemon. And it's really not, and very, very good. Thinking, I guess, when I was smelling it and wasn't getting a lot there, it was interesting, but tasting it, it's really fantastic.
Yeah, Aaron, what are you picking up?
It's definitely like a very fruity wine, and it's very dry. And it is one that I would want to just like kind of sit and enjoy. I can imagine having this like with a meal, or just on a picnic for some reason. That keeps popping out in my mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like a nice weather wine. I don't know. It tastes nice.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think what you're picking up is the refreshingness is the acidity. This is pretty high acid wine.
Thank you. I don't know that word.
Okay, well, you thought you were only learning one thing today. Here's number 2. Acid in wine makes your saliva glands really get going. Kind of like, think about just biting into a lemon or something like that. It really gets your saliva glands going. So when you're drinking wine, that's another vocabulary word. If you like that kind of refreshing quality to a wine, you can say, I'd like something that's high acid, because that's where that refreshingness comes from. But
so we learned 2 things today.
Learned 2 things.
I'll be damned.
Who would have thought? Yeah,
not me.
But here we are. But I agree. I'm getting it is very refreshing. I'm getting a lot of lemon. Like I mentioned, the peach and the pear. I'm getting a really nice bready note, which I love. But overall, it's super tasty. But it's not terribly complex.
What's interesting too is
Sure.
Like I said up front, first thing that really just kind of hit me in the face was that citrusy, that lemony note. But the more I drink it, the more I'm getting that kind of bready note on. But what sounds kind of strange, Colin, is I get that citrusy up front, and then it's almost like towards the end of the sip, I'm getting that bready kind of flavor as well.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you're going to experience wine differently in your mouth as you drink it. You know, you'll experience different flavors up front, in the middle, on your palate. If we're talking industry talk, you'll experience flavor on the front palate, the mid palate, and the back palate. So that's you'll find that quite a bit in wine, that you'll experience different flavors in different part of your mouth. You guys want to learn one more thing, or are we done learning?
I can do one more thing,
You do one more,
and then that's
Aaron.
it.
How you feeling? It'll be quick.
I mean, you're going to put something in, something else is going to come out. So you just have to quiz me at the end of this and see what I lost, but it's fine.
Okay, well, just real quick, I mentioned bready as a flavor note, and that comes from the wine being aged on its dead yeast cells. So that's where breadiness
Oh, you
comes
gave
from.
us a creepy fact. Great. Thank you.
Dead yeast. Let's end the show there.
Dead shit.
No.
Awesome.
And that's the show. No, just kidding. We got to review that thing. And if we're reviewing it, that means we get another drop.
Yeah, but did they like it? It's time for the review.
Oh,
That was exciting.
yeah.
No, I'm.
Oh, man.
You guys pumped right now?
I am more
Oof.
pumped for a review than I have ever been before.
BRB, let me break through this brick wall here real quick. My God.
I'm absolutely ready to go. And because this is the first episode, we are going to have Aaron explain our review system, because it's a little bit different than what you might have seen in the past. So Aaron, take it away.
Yeah. Our review system is going to be very simple because when the three of us were sitting around talking about wine the very first time, we talked about the numerical wine system, which Colin reminded me starts at 80.
Something like that.
Some number. You know, I am a teacher by trade, and if the lowest score you can get is an 80, that is a bad scoring system. And so like the difference between like 88 and 90 and 92 and 94 when I walk into like a Total Wine, I have no idea what the difference is. So we're going to make things a lot more anecdotal for you, and we're going to talk about where we would put our wines in our own imaginary or real homes. So like the ultimate best case scenario for a wine that we try out is going to be our wine fridge. Now, the trick to the wine fridge is that it's a very small wine fridge because we all got kids and we don't have money for big wine fridges. So our wine fridges hold 3 wines. So if a wine makes it to our wine fridge, it is very, very good. The second down from that is our kitchen table. These are the wines that we're recommending to you, are the wines that you can like feel good about having out when people come over. Someone comes and visits, you want to have a dinner, you want to have friends over, and you want to put out a wine. Like, this is something that you can put out. It tastes good. You should be proud of it. It's like the wine that we feel really good about. The next level down from that are our closet wines, our emergency wines. These are the wines that after that dinner has been going for 3 hours and people haven't left your house and you don't want to put out another kitchen table wine, and you don't want to put out a wine from your wine fridge because no one will appreciate it at that point in the night. Reach into your closet, your emergency wine. These are your backup wines. These are okay. And then down from that is the drain. These are the ones we don't want you to waste your wine. This is our namesake. This is do not waste your wine. It is right there. Don't waste your wine. At the end of every episode, we will tell you whether or not it is a wine that should be somewhere in your home or a wine that you should just dump down the drain. How about that, guys? Did I encompass all of our beliefs, philosophies, traditions?
Very good.
Yeah, no, I think that was a great little wrap up of what to expect from the rating system. So with that, guys, where are we putting this wine? Joel, where are you putting it?
Ooh, I gotta say, I think I was one of these people at the beginning that was kind of writing off Chardonnay, but I was very pleasantly surprised by this very crisp, very acidic, very refreshing Chardonnay. So I am proudly going to put this on my kitchen table. I'm going to share it with my friends.
Yeah, same. I think this is like a really tasty, solid wine. It's not too overbearing. It's, folks who may not love a Chardonnay are probably going to be okay with this. It's a solid kitchen table wine to put out. Happy to tell people about it.
Yeah, I would agree. I think this is a wine that I would want to share with other people because it's just tasty. It's a good wine. It's something you can talk about and just enjoy. I think a lot of people this would really break the misconceptions of Chardonnay for a lot of people. So I'm putting it on the wine table with you guys.
All right, boys. So the question we got to ask, though, is, was this a waste of our wine? What do you guys think?
Absolutely not. Solid wine. Happy to hand it out to my folks.
Yeah, no, I would agree. We're not wasting wine on this one. This is a good, solid drinker, and people should absolutely go out and try it.
I am with you 100% into this wine, and I think if you go pick it up, you will enjoy it yourselves.
Awesome. So this is a kitchen table wine for the masses. It is not a waste. We would recommend go out and grab it. $14.99. It is a great bargain. The Muirwood Chardonnay from 2021.
That's it. That's the show. You guys have fun?
Fantastic time.
Learn a little something?
Learned a lot.
I learned that Chardonnays can be in warm climate or cool climate, and that affects their taste profile. I am now layman +1. I'm moving up.
There you go. And
So
the
good.
journey continues. Well, thanks everybody for listening to the episode. We will catch you next week.
Awesome. Colin, play the sound, the send out sound that you made.
I didn't make one, but I can play.
You made 37 sounds and not a send out
I
sound.
can play all 3 drops at once if you want that.
Get the British guy back.
This is
I hope
the
you all
audio
enjoy
slowly
your
learn.
evening.
Chaos.
Enjoy.
Absolutely. Hey, you guys like the last drop? I got another one.
This is the only thing.
No, I messed up the drop.
No, we already learned a thing.
You said one thing per episode.
I set
I
that
can
up so
only
poorly.
digest one piece of information in an episode.
Do you know what happened? I hit the wrong button. So let's try that again.
This is
No, the drops are messed up.
I don't
You
want
did
to know
not.
anything else.
Okay, I'm gonna try this button.